One of the biggest things in the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct revealed to us was the fact that there were actually Bonanza transformations for Donkey Kong. He can turn into a bigger ape, or even a fast sprinting zebra, or even an ostrich that could fly through the air and poop out bomb eggs. Yeah, Banjo and Kazooie got some competition now. But with these transformations, a lot of us have been wondering, are there going to be any more? And I am almost 100% confident that there's going to be more than just 3 Bonanza transformations in this game. How many exactly? I can't necessarily say, but thanks to some new evidence that others online have found, we can pretty much confirm that there's going to be at least 5. Too Crispy on YouTube has noticed something strange about the Fractone characters. The Fractones are the little rock, colorful characters that we've seen throughout the trailer so far, and we really don't know anything about them. In fact, Nintendo doesn't even really touch on them whatsoever, and they don't really make any sense as to who they could be in this game. Well, Too Crispy has noted that they probably are other animal buddies. Each world is definitely themed by a specific animal. Take this deep jungle that's actually themed by the ostriches, or the snow world that's themed after the zebras, or the lagoon world where the chimpanzees live. But there's also layers where we really haven't seen any creatures in, like this hilltop layer, or even this beach themed one. However, there's 2 other layers where we get to see some Fractones shaped like animals, like the canyon layer where we see tons of them shaped like giraffes. You can even see giraffe architecture everywhere within this area, being giant gastric pipes coming out of the ground, and it's very clear that this is where the giraffes live, in this mining sector. And just to confirm that theory even more, the snow region has zebra architecture. You can see the giant zebra head it's frozen over. The ostrich area has giant golden eggs and giant long necks of the ostrich working like tree branches and roots coming out of the ground. The chimp area has tons of statues of monkeys everywhere. So of course, with the giraffe terrain everywhere, it's very certain that this is where the giraffes live. But we also have another one pretty much being confirmed, which is the elephant in this kind of lava-filled area. There's a Fractone in the back of this scene, shaped and colored exactly like an elephant. And somehow, Too Crispy was even able to find this image, showing the elephant Fractone up close. So it's pretty much confirmed that this lava/cave themed world is actually an elephant themed world as well. Even Pauline is wearing an elephant themed costume, which we've seen her wear different themed costumes throughout the trailer. This also seems to be one of the more chaotic worlds as well, as there's like giant tornadoes in the background and, like we've seen earlier, some lava in some of these sections, but this does seem to be kind of a cave section themed after the elephants. Now, we don't know if every single world's going to have a transformation or some type of animal to represent it, because there's still 3 worlds we haven't seen an animal in. That hilltop layer, the beach layer, and also this weird brown and gold underground layer as well. But perhaps we can actually do some sleuthing and figure this out. And in order to do so, I want to take a break from these animals right now and just talk about the transformations, because thanks to these animals, we might be getting brand new DK Bonanza transformations as well. Bromo Jumbo on Twitter made some awesome concept art of what some other transformations could look like, and they made a whole bunch, but these can actually help us when it comes to trying to figure out what's next in this game for the transformations. Thankfully, they designed an elephant one that we can actually use as a reference here, and maybe there is an elephant transformation where we actually talk to an elephant elder and get the abilities of an elephant. What would this be? Maybe something very similar to Ellie from Donkey Kong Country 3, which allows you to suck up water, spit it out at enemies, and also pick up barrels with your snout and toss them around. And I feel like the elephant is going to be a lot bigger and more powerful than even the Kong Bananza, making you super powerful, able to run through walls this time around, and maybe even use that snout to suck up water and spit it out at enemies. So maybe kind of like a projectile based transformation that lets you aim and shoot things. Now, unfortunately, the one Bonanza concept that they didn't make was a giraffe, so we're just gonna have to picture what that's gonna look like, because it's gonna be strange. But what does a giraffe actually offer in terms of gameplay value? Well, maybe you can stretch your neck super high up into the air in order to grab things from far away or something. I really don't know what the big use of this could be, but maybe it's to quickly climb up to high cliffs. Like, for instance, you can just stretch your neck up, grab the top of the cliff, and fling the rest of your body up there. Think of the tropical wiggler from Mario Odyssey, but instead of moving horizontally and stretching, you're actually stretching vertically. Or better yet, what would be an even better comparison is the uproot capture from Super Mario Odyssey, which allowed you to stretch your legs up vertically and pop up to higher placed areas. But something else I noticed is that 2 of these are actually animals based on the animal buddies from Donkey Kong Country. The ostrich animals and the transformation obviously referencing Espresso. I mean, they even had the same sneakers on. And if the elephants really are a race for one of these sub-levels, like I'm betting they are, and I'm also betting there's going to be a Bonanza transformation, it's probably going to be referencing Ellie from Donkey Kong Country 3. So we can look at these other worlds and try to figure out what the other transformations could be. I mean, more than 5 might get a little hectic when it comes to transforming into them on the fly, but still, I mean, the more the merrier. I definitely would take more. So what could they be? The areas that we've seen so far, let's look at them and try to kind of make some common sense out of what animals could be representative of each of those layers. The beach layer, obviously in my mind, would have to be some type of aquatic creature. You know, there's tons of water, and in some of the scenes you can even see islands far off into the water, and it's going to take a while to swim there. Trust me, I played the demo and swimming is pretty slow, so it would only make sense if there's some type of transformation. I mean, obviously, yeah, we can surf over there, but I would love to see some type of water-based animal as a transformation here. I mean, there's lots of worlds with different liquids, even poison in the jungle world that looks like maybe we could even swim in if we had some type of Bonanza creature. So I'm guessing maybe we could bring back Unguard. Unguard is a swordfish animal buddy that's been there since the beginning, and he's pretty much just an underwater swordfish. He can swim extremely fast and poke enemies with his long snout, so it would make for an awesome Bonanza transformation just to have a really cool aquatic underwater creature. Now, I don't know if there's going to be true underwater swimming in this game, and maybe this is the only way we can do so, but yes, I know the zebra Bonanza can actually run on water, but it'd be really cool to just swim in water as a giant swordfish Donkey Kong. It makes so much sense, just like this concept art from Jumbo, also to have the bananas be the fins. I mean, it would look awesome, but also it'd be very strange to see an elder swordfish sitting on a throne like the rest do. I don't even know what that would look like. We then have the hilltop layer, and there's really been no type of reference that I could find. I mean, every architecture around the area is just big old statues of bananas, so I don't know what it could be. Oh, I have one idea. Maybe we can have the subscribe Bonanza. No, seriously. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe because it helps out a lot. So let's see how many people we can get to subscribe from this video. Maybe you'll turn into your own Bonanza if you do so, who knows? So a hilltop layer could have any animal, honestly, but it kind of has to make sense. Like, what would we transform into that would actually help us in this game? And something like a cow or a gazelle, like a deer, it really wouldn't do anything. So let me go back to these concepts that Jumbo made. Going back to the frog one would make a lot of sense. We actually have a frog animal buddy in Donkey Kong Country. His name is Winky, and he can jump super high, so maybe that's what it allows Donkey Kong to do. Jump really high into the air, or maybe even do double or triple jumps in order to cross giant gaps. Or maybe a parrot. I mean, we do have the ostrich, which allows us to fly, so it pretty much wouldn't make a lot of sense, but maybe the parrot has different abilities. Jumbo lists it under the concept as maybe able to help Pauline's singing grow a little stronger. I don't know exactly what it would do. Maybe you can make enemies fall asleep, or help you to guide you to things a lot quicker or easier, or maybe you're just able to fly in the air and spit out coconuts or whatever the parrot actually does in Donkey Kong Country. Now, Squawks has done a lot of things for the Kongs, even shine light in order to lighten up darkened areas, so maybe that's exactly what you're able to do. Maybe shine light in dark caves or something for you to see where to go. Maybe there's one in this area based off of Rattly, the snake from Donkey Kong Country, where just like the frog, you can jump super high, but this time maybe even higher. You can charge up that super jump and just jump up to a high cliff or something, and so, you know, maybe it's either the frog or the snake in this game. I don't know, but either of them definitely could work. I think something with a high jump would make a lot of sense in this game. And the final area looks to be like some type of underground mining location. Like I said, it could just be an extension from something that we've already seen from an existing world, but maybe something that digs underground like a mole or a badger, like this tiger concept where DK gets claws, and maybe could even enhance his combat, making him a lot stronger, or making him dig his claws into enemies and rip off pieces of rock from them as he's punching them. But we could sit here all day and go through tons of animals and transformations, and even these concepts that Jumbo made. For instance, maybe even one referencing Squitter, turning you into a spider, where you can shoot out webs and actually use them as platforms, and have tons of sneakers at the end of your feet, which is pretty weird, but cool. Can't lie. Or maybe instead of riding Rambi, we can actually turn into him, because maybe there's a whole rhino subsection or something that he eventually goes to. You know, Rambi's in this game and he's like running away from Cranky in the very beginning, so maybe he runs to like a rhino subsection where we can turn into a rhino and just straight up run through walls. Or maybe a hippo where we can actually reflect things off of our stomach, all King K. Rool style, and we're just a giant heavyweight. We move really slow, but we're super strong and our defense is completely maxed out. Or maybe a bear that references Banjo and rare altogether. I mean, this would be so cute to have like Pauline dress up as Kazooie. To be honest with you, I would even like to be a Zinger. Imagine if one of the elders were like really tiny and they actually just kind of had like their own little throne. It was like a queen bee or something like that, and we could actually turn into a Zinger where we get really tiny and we can go into super small places, kind of like the Legend of Zelda Minish Cap style where you're shrinking down really small and entering dungeons and little caves. That'd be really cool. We could get a little stinger. We can actually sting enemies and stuff. I think that'd be awesome. But before we wrap up, there's one more transformation that I want to talk about because it's probably one of the most important ones of this entire video. It's one that I've been thinking about before I've even seen this concept art from Jumbo, and something that I've been thinking about since I saw the Bonanza transformations in the very beginning. I know that there is going to be some sort of Kremling transformation. There's a big theory going on right now that the Kremlings are actually in this game, and because one of the major enemy types are called crocoids, and almost every single enemy has these big statue carved out crocodile designs on them. Why in the world would crocodiles be in this game and it not be referenced to the Kremlings? It wouldn't make any sense. So a lot of people do think that somehow, some way, there's going to be King K. Rool referenced or even appearing at the end of this game. Maybe he's at the core, maybe there's some type of Kremling elder that he's talking to down there, who knows, but I do think there's going to be some type of transformation for us. Maybe we have to actually fight the Kremling elder or King K. Rool or something like that, but could you imagine if, let's just say, we transformed into the crocodile Bonanza after defeating the King K. Rool elder, or whoever that would be. Maybe it's just a straight up Kremling elder, and then we have to use that transformation in order to fight King K. Rool, where he has his own transformation. It's like two giga crocodiles fighting each other. It would be absolutely amazing. You could have like a giant tail whip, or maybe you can bite down on things or something. I don't know, but I don't care. It doesn't have to do anything crazy. This game already has insane references to Super Mario Odyssey. I'd be absolutely dumbfounded if it wasn't by the exact same team who made Odyssey. But I do think that they're going to do something very similar to the end of Mario Odyssey, where you capture Bowser, where this time you'll actually transform into the big bad antagonist of the Donkey Kong series that has been long forgotten, King K. Rool. Look, I don't want to hype you guys up for something that might not happen, so don't come back to me and saying, I can't believe you said this was going to happen and it didn't happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it would make a lot of sense. Based on the direction that they're going in this game and based on what we've seen so far, I would kind of predict there to be some type of crocodile transformation at the very end. Maybe I'm wrong, who knows, but I feel like that'd be a big surprise for everybody when we reach the core. That's if people doesn't spoil it in thumbnails, you know, the week the game comes out, because, you know, some people will. Some people, you guys already know who I'm talking about. But I think there are endless possibilities for what they could actually come up with animals and their different movesets and transformations and elders and whole animal kingdoms. I can't wait to go to each layer and find out, you know, what animal runs each layer and stuff. It's going to be really exciting. I mean, this game just gets me more and more excited the more I think about it, because it has the potential to do some exciting things with the lore, and I just can't wait to dig into it. You know, pun intended, sure, I don't care. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed the wild theories, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Donkey Kong Bonanza and Nintendo Switch 2 in general. And please feel free to check out the awesome content creators, such as the artist of those Bonanza transformations and also the one that originated the theory, down below. I'll link both of their channels, so please go check out their stuff and subscribe to them as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one, and I hope you all have a blessed day. See you guys.